And on today's Sports Mogul, we're going to discuss basically that despite the statement of shut up and play basketball, we're going to look at how a negative statement can turn into a positive result and how people can fight back without fighting back. Because basically, even though that statement serves a key insight into how society looks at athletes and any individuals of any industry, it also looks at how those individuals decide to retaliate from that statement. So today's main topic is basically on how fashion brands are collaborating with sports club and how these fashion brands look at these athletes and these sports clubs more than just what it is. So enjoy the video and I'll run you through today's video. LeBron James, Maverick Carter, Rich Paul, and the whole collaboration with Nike and other brands as well as their marketing agency decided to collaborate and come up with a slogan that's not only just do it, but a slogan just as impactful in today's world as yesterday's world. So the slogan is really more than an athlete. And this statement also became later on a podcast that illustrated athletes' issues, athletes' triumphs, success, downfall, comeback, impact, legacy, history, support, and much more. And really, that was the first step into how athletes and people of different society decide to change their opinions and outlooks into how athletes should be viewed as. Because at the end of the day, although athletes are athletes to begin with, and that's their profession, first of all, they're human beings. And in my opinion, they should be treated as such. And not only are they human beings, but they're humans, but professional athletes of that caliber are, I don't want to say the highest of human beings, but are the most revolutionized sort of human beings, but they're there for a reason. They're the best of the best at what they do. So they should also be respected for their craft as well as their humanity and on the more than an athlete take. But then it starts to trickle down into more and more avenues of how really fashion brands and different companies, even the music companies, and music brands decide to collaborate with sports club. So, for example, Travis Scott at Spotify and Barcelona made a whole campaign and made a whole um, collaboration on how they should be together and the sponsorship deal that Barcelona has with Camp Nou, all the way to the point that Camp Nou is called Camp Nou Spotify Stadium. And really, that goes to show that the collaboration is working and that they have a healthy relationship with each other and a sustainable relationship with each other where they both benefit from each other and they both can see how they can improve their brand through collaboration. As time goes on, and even prior to that, not even time goes on, prior to that, the first real fashion brand, and the real first fashion models and sports club that collaborated were PSG, Jordan, and the likes of Gigi Hadid and Kendall Jenner. So as we see from as time went, as the beginning of time when Neymar, Mbappe, and other big global sports icons decided to join PSG. And, PSG might be the city of love, but PSG is also a football club. Paris is basically the city of club, and PSG is situated in Paris. But as we're well aware, PSG is also a sports club with a huge amount of heritage and legacy with the likes of JJ Okocha, who is now the Flair chief executive of Flair, and David Ginola, who was a superstar nonetheless, and George Weah, who was the first and only African Ballon d'Or winner, if I'm not mistaken. But hopefully that changes with time as well, because diversity is everything. But anyways, back to where I began. PSG and Jordan decided to collaborate to make football jerseys. and basically Kendall Jenner and Gigi Hadid decided to pose and uh, flaunt the jersey style in the stadium that they were in. And because these are well-renowned fashion models, it decided to gain traction. And that's really when fashion brands decided to see how sports clubs, how fans supported the sports clubs, and how fans are still in tune with the fashion world and are in tune with the world that is outside of sports. So really, for example, sports clubs such as AC Milan, who have held its sports heritage, are now collaborating with Off White, and you can see the jackets that they wear, and you can see the different outfits that they wear, and the tunnel fits that they wear, and they post that up to Instagram before the game begins. So not only does it catch the attention of the fans, but it catches the attention of the club and the fashion brands. And it also reminds the people that a football game is occurring. So it's killing four birds instead of two birds. It really kills five birds instead with one stone. So everybody eats and everybody's happy. And also the latest collaboration with Tommy Hilfiger and Liverpool, and that really motivated me to create this video because I'm starting to see more and more of football clubs and fashion brands collaborating. Real Madrid are collaborating, Napoli and Armani, if I'm not mistaken, and the trend will continue to go on as these athletes will also become brand ambassadors and fashion ambassadors for their own brand as well as the fashion brands. And look no further as to Billy Gilmore and Jude Bellingham. Jude Bellingham being the brand ambassador of his own logo, and Billy Gilmore being the brand ambassador of Gucci or Louis Vuitton, if I'm not mistaken. And last but not least, Gucci and Adidas have made some clothes together that will continue the legacy of each brand and will and made limited edition clothing that allowed them to expand their target audience and expand each other's heritage and create a legacy and history within their own brand. Conclusion last. So basically, like I said, collaboration is the form of innovation based on how these different brands, sports brands such as Barcelona, Real Madrid, Liverpool, and sports brands, sports clubs really are also integrating and collaborating with fashion brands and music brands such as Off White, Tommy Hilfiger, and much more. Louis Vuitton, Hermes, Armani, and how these brands are basically a melting pot that decided to take heed to the words that the reporter said and decided to use the hatred as fuel for their engine and be stirred into a cultural melting pot. And from that moment forward, and from to this day, it still continues to be as such. And really, that's how the collaboration has turned into innovation, and the collaboration turned into sustainable relationships, business relationships, and mutual relationships. And video is really to show how unity beats hatred and how excuse me and how unity beats hatred, and that athletes or any individual in any industry are human beings first, and that they do have a right to their opinion and they do have a right to say what they want to say. So that's basically the first video of Sports Mogul. Thank you for watching and have a blessed one. And if you want more information and more of my insights into how fashion brands collaborate with sports brands, look at my Substack, and I'll see you guys another time. Thank you.